Jellord. Yay.
All right. Greetings, friends. It is your friend Jellord coming to you live late at night for funsies. I'm gonna go grab something real quick that I forgot about because I'm an idiot. But it's okay. It's totally a-okay. So, I've prepared a few things to chat about. We got some trailers to look at. We've got a few things, and I might even play some games. Who knows? It could be crazy. Just trying to find a good place for this stupid chat that's being all crazy over here. There we go. What is it doing? There's always got to be some technical difficulty, you know? That's how she goes. But it's okay. I'm gonna figure it out. Here's what I'm gonna do. Get rid of that shit. Perfect. Beautiful. Pausing it. Playing it. Whatever. Muting it. Perfect. All right. Greetings, friend. Jellord here, coming at you at like 10 p.m., I guess, my time. Got hit by a blizzard recently here. Whatever. Muting it. And it was pretty wild. Everything got buried. I was just kind of stuck at home for a couple of days, but thankfully, because it's Wisconsin, they got everything cleared up pretty quick. Everything was all good. Let's see here. Oh boy. So I've been playing a lot of Castlevania lately, which yeah, I don't know. Love Castlevania. Can't really go wrong. Beautiful with Castlevania, if you ask me. And I've been playing. Sorry, I'm just setting up this stupid horse shit for the chat here. Not that anybody is gonna actually like show up, but you never know. Yeah, let's see here. Yes, sir. And there we go. All right, I've got it sorted, figured out. I don't have to be stuck on that. All right, so sorry guys, sorry about that. There's always some fuckery that I have to get around. I guess I'm trying to get into the groove of things to start doing streams more regularly here. Like I'd like to do it once a week on the regular. I'm gonna just have to figure out how I can do that. I'm gonna have to figure out how I can do that week to week because my new working situation is different. Not like I'm kind of working two different jobs, but it's for the same company, so like scheduling changes randomly depending on when work is available and blah blah blah. Boring shit, boring real life talk. That takes us away from precious video game bullshitting, which is what this channel is supposed to be about, right? So let me talk a little bit about what I've been gaming on, what I'm trying to finish, a little bit about trying to finish a backlog. I might talk about that a touch, but I do want to cover the talking points that I took notes on today because I want to use those since I paced around and fucking took the time to write the shit down. And I'm trying to get into a better habit of doing that and structuring my little channel here a little more. I'm up to 84 subscribers. I did acquire a new subscriber, which is pretty funny. I don't know. I get a kick out of every time I get a subscriber. I wonder to myself, like, what kind of person? Or is it somebody I know that I mentioned my channel to who finally got around to checking it out and subscribing? Or is it somebody from one of the 3 videos I have that have like 600 to 1,000 views, the best videos I have, which is surprisingly where I get most of my subscriptions from. I often wonder if any of those guys stop to check me out, but I doubt it. I really do. Yeah. Anyway, like I have been gaming on my PSP a lot. I've also been gaming on my Game Boy Advance a lot at slash Boxy Pixel, Game Boy Advance, PSP. I might as well show them all off. I've showed them off on the channel before, but every opportunity that I have to show these bad boys off, I try to take it because I don't know, man. I'm proud of them. I built these things and refurbished them from basically what was trash, somebody's trash to treasure, as they say, right? So somebody's trash that I turned into my treasure. The first one being my guy right here, my rebuilt Squirtle Game Boy Advance SP with a very cool IPS. I believe it's a version 5 display. And it's laminated. And it's very bright. Very, very bright. It gets brighter and brighter. I'm trying to take it down to the lowest setting so you can actually see how good the screen looks on this thing, right? I'll try to avoid some of the glare here. There we go. But yeah, it looks quite good. The display itself was 49, I think I paid, or maybe 45. I do like that the bezel on it, or whatever you want to call that, is white. I think that's pretty unique, pretty cool. The shell itself was only like 20 bucks. It's not the greatest quality plastic. It looks nice and it glows in the dark. But it's not like the greatest quality plastic, I'd say. But I do like the fact that it's see-through. I do like any of the clear mods for these guys. Very happy with it. And my my only legit copy of any Pokemon game. I'm Pokemon Sapphire. That I'm slowly making my way through. I've only ever beaten Pokemon Blue. I figured I'd beat the one other blue-colored one. So that's kind of one game that I on and off play. I like to have that one. I can stick it in my pocket or in my bag and just kind of wander around in the grass and find some motherfuckers to beat up and possibly acquire acquisition to my forces there, enlist them. The other thing, yeah, the PSP. I finally got it in its final form. It was clear before. I did put the clear shell on it, as you can see. Very cool from the back. You can see inside, get a good look of the battery and the SD card. I was talking to a buddy of mine that owns a game store. He was kind of surprised to see that the SD card is actually at an angle there. So that's an interesting little thing, because when you're side loading the card, you don't notice necessarily that the card rests at an angle on the motherboard. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, to unveil the front. So the trouble with this one, so I do really love the way it turned out. It turned out really great. I am pretty happy with it. Let me see if I can get a good shot here with it not being too blurry and on center. There we go. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with the way it turned out. I ended up using the regular black buttons from the original part buttons on the bottom, because the clear buttons I had, they sucked. Like, they were not very malleable, and they were getting stuck stiff instead of working correctly. So I decided that I was just going to use the original buttons, and I was worried they would kind of look a little bit ass, just with the clear orange and everything. But much to my surprise, I think it turned out really well. I like the way it looks, especially in combination with the clear buttons. They accent the original clear buttons that are the shoulder buttons nicely, and the whole thing really turned out nice. I will say the build was a bit creaky on the side here, but I did a couple of modifications to improve that problem. So like, if you ever do a build like this, one thing that might just be something you overlook, which is what happened to me, is always make sure you use the right screw, the right bit size, because like, I wasn't using the right bit size, so the screws were skipping a lot on me, and I was just kind of thinking like, oh, whatever, this plastic's just being a hooker. But it turns out it was an issue with the screwdriver. So I just made sure to get the actual correct size bit so I could get it nice and tight. And I did get the frame nice and tight. It's not creaky. I'm squeezing it now next to the mic, and you can't hear it. Before, it was like there was a lot of movement. The other thing is I don't know if you can really see it there, but you can kind of see that there's black right in the seam where the battery meets the mouth, or the battery plate meets the case here. It's difficult to see. Let me see if I can get it to focus just right. You can kind of see it from that angle. You can see that there's two pieces of plastic, like right here and here, or black. That's not plastic. It's actually electrical tape that I've cut and put very tiny strips along the seam where the battery cover and the edge of the shell meet. The problem is there was too much of a gap between the shell and the battery cover. So to add some to fill that space in the gap, I cut strips of electrical tape and layered them until the battery cover was no longer creaky and fucky. So I'm really happy now. Now the whole thing feels solid, feels 100% solid. like the original, nice, stiff, solid setup. The only issue I had with it originally, I bought a glass lens. And the problem with these clear shells that you get, putting a glass lens in it is a fucking nightmare, because if you look closely, where the lens connects to the shell, it's like you can see these lines, these horizontal lines. Let's see here. Yes. Right there, like above the P. Anyway, that's like the plastic lens like fused to the shell, right? So removing it is already a pain in the ass without breaking the shell. And then not only that, the glass lens won't sit flush inside of the shell. And I was going in and trying to shave away the remaining plastic and shit. None of that crap was working. So once I got the new faceplate, because I ruined the old one trying to put the glass lens into it, I used the original black faceplate with the glass lens, and that was cool, but the original black faceplate was all worn out around the joystick. It looked like ass. The lens looked incredible. So I said, fuck it, and I just bought another faceplate, and this time I was like, I could have gotten another clear one, but I thought that was boring, so I got an orange one, and that way the back is clear and the front is orange. So this is kind of my big boy setup right now. The thing that sucks, though, is there is some problem with the D-pad, the forward on the D-pad. I did already replace the membrane on it with a new one. That wasn't the issue. I knew it wasn't going to be the issue. The buttons are ribbons, because like basically at some point around the PS3 era to maybe it was PS3, definitely PS4, all the buttons kind of changed into ribbons at some point, that the conductive membranes would make contact with these ribbons, and that's how it would tell you the button was being pressed. But yeah, there's all sorts of things go wrong with the ribbon. So I got a new ribbon coming in the mail. It's coming from China though, so I don't know when the fuck that's going to be a minute. So hopefully that'll be the last time I take this apart. There is one little annoying piece of fucking whatever floaty bullshit, because now I saw that there's a laminated display for the PSPs, which is cool. And when I say laminated display, in case you don't know, that means the glass is actually like already glued to the display. Because if you've never done any work on one of these or any handhelds where you're not dealing with a laminated display, it is a humongous shit show, pain in the ass to get all the fingerprints off of the inside of the lens and all the fingerprints and shit off of the actual display. Not only that, like you wear gloves. I always forget. I should just buy a big box of gloves for when I'm doing that. That's my next move. But not only that, just shit floating around in the room will get in there, and it could be just the last minute as you're putting it together, some little tiny particle fuckhead gets inside, and then you fire it up, and the first white screen you finally see after firing up your hard-worked fucking whatever, let's say in this case PSP that you put together, only to discover there's some particle of shit that is the only thing you can look at, and you can't even enjoy your games. But I've taught myself not to worry about that shit. So there's a little particle in here right now. It's pissing me off. But it's okay, because I know that the new ribbon's going to come. I'm going to have to take it apart one last time, and hopefully that'll be the last time. And then I can just enjoy this thing until some other critical damage occurs. I will talk about a little bit about some of the games I'm playing on here right now, though. Let's see. I got Castlevania... the fuck? Yeah, Dracula X Chronicles. It should be Requiem, but this game is totally underrated. I know, like, on my last live stream on, what was it? I was on Twitch, which I just came back to YouTube because I actually have 80 subscribers here. On Twitch, I have 2 subscribers, like my nephew and my old friend. And I streamed on there like, I don't know, the last 8 times that I live streamed, and I didn't get any viewers or anything. At least sometimes on YouTube, I'll randomly get one of my 80 subscribers or whatever the fuck. So like somebody will occasionally watch me or pop up in the chat. So I get a little more action over here. Hopefully eventually once I figure out the whole plugin and everything to just run both, I'll just run both. That's the plan. That's the end game here. I just have to take the time to figure it out or have somebody explain that shit to me. Anyway, back on topic. Dracula X Chronicles. I talked about this a little bit in the past. I'm going to talk about it again just because why not? I might as well just keep talking about it because nobody watched any of my shit. So this may well, if somebody watches this, could be the first time I've talked about it to them. This game fucking rules. Even the version of it that the remade version of Rondo of Blood, I like it. Some people shit on it at the time that it came out. I think it fucking kicks ass. I really enjoy it. It plays almost just like Rondo of Blood, more difficult and easier in some ways and other ways not. It's like situational from moment to moment, whatever area you're in, tackling boss, whatever the fuck, it changes. But the thing about this game is the way to enjoy this game for a lot of people. This was supposed to be just Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the PSP, which is what it should have been. They should have made it Castlevania. It should have been a remake of Castlevania Symphony of the Night on the PSP, where you could unlock Rondo of Blood and the original Castlevania Symphony of the Night on it. Instead, it was a remake of Rondo of Blood, which is already a little known game for a lot of people, that lets you unlock the original as well as Symphony of the Night. But everybody I knew who bought this game at the time that it came out bought it for Symphony of the Night. They didn't, and the one thing that's a little disappointing, they didn't even add widescreen support. That would have been cool. You know, they just extended the screen a little bit. They could have done it. They wouldn't necessarily had to have like whatever 4:3. It's fine. But the nice thing about the PSP is it has the widescreen display built in. So it's just a nitpick. They do give you some cool wallpapers to pick from, but you can tell that when they put this game together, the main course is supposed to be the remake of Rondo of Blood. And if you approach it that way, like it's a huge pain in the ass to unlock Symphony of the Night. Like unreasonably so. It's like hidden in like an alternate version of the third level, if I'm not mistaken. And it's a pain in the ass, but I guess that's in keeping with the Castlevania tradition that apparently started after Simon's Quest. But yeah, if you think of it like that, like it's just a remake of Rondo of Blood with a lot of really good unlockables, this game fucking kicks ass. Great title on the PSP, and it's cheap. You can get it pretty cheap. You can get it for like, in some cases, under $20 if you find it in the wild at an actual store. Maybe $20, $24. Who knows? Maybe even cheaper than that. Anyway. Let's see. I've been playing Phantasy Star Portable. Fun game. I don't know. Not a lot to say about it. I kind of, in some ways, like it more than the PS2 version because the main story isn't as intrusive, and you get to make a character right away. So unless you're playing online in the PS2 version, you don't get to make a character. What else? We got Star Ocean First Departure. I kind of pumped the brakes on this one because I'm working on too many games right now. Oh, bumping shit. The main game that I'm working on right now, besides Castlevania on my PSP, because I kind of put down Phantasy Star. Phantasy Star is one of those fucking forever games, like Monster Hunter. Like you're never gonna fucking beat it. Yeah, you can roll the credits, but you can just keep going, which is good. I'm not being critical, but I kind of approach those games differently. I don't sit down and try to finish the whole thing in one go. I jump on, jump off. I usually tend to keep one of those games going at any given time. But right now I'm playing the Unlosing Ranger. I'm having a lot of fun with this game. It's available in the Prinny collection, which is a great little collection that has a lot of good shit. There's 3 volumes. I don't know if the price is jacked up for those. I could look up real quick. let's see. Volume, I think it was volume 3. Well, let's go to Good Lord. All right. Am I back? Okay, cool. That was fucking stupid. I wonder if that'll all like stay the same. I'm gonna stop recording. Okay. Technical difficulties there. That was goofy for a second. So here we go. Volume 1. Brini Collection. There we go. It's volume 2. You can get it for $30, and it's got Makai Kingdom, which is another really good game that nobody fucking talks about. That's cool. Exploded Reloaded. It's pricey. I wouldn't pay that much for it, but kind of looking at getting the Prinny PSP games potentially. At some point. Anyway. You get the idea. I wonder. Good Lord. Yeah, everything like went tits up for a minute there. I was a little bit concerned. Let's see. Okay, I've never really done that before, like stopped the stream and restarted it. So that's cool. That's a new experience for me. Anyway, continuing with my discussion here. Yeah, the Unlosing Ranger, it's basically along the same lines as all of their other, I don't know, whatever their graphics engine is, their game engine for all their games at the time from PS2 going forward, basically up until now, where it seems like they're just sticking with Disgaea mostly. Yeah, the Unlosing Ranger is a pretty cool, like, what do you call it? Mystery dungeon style game. I do really enjoy it though. It's been fun. Of course, same goofy, humorous bullshit. Storyline that's throwaway. It doesn't fucking matter. And that's been fun. Yeah, I've been hitting that up. The other games I've been playing just to get through this portion of my little live stream. I'm dragging it out. At least the gift of gab has kept me going and going and going. I can talk about absolutely nothing for 100 years apparently, which is what you need to be able to do this. So hopefully I can gather steam one of these days and do this as an occupation. But yeah, another classic here, launch title for the Game Boy Advance, and I got my beautiful Boxy Pixel, sexy Boxy Pixel, one of my first major builds when I embarked on the learning how to fix and modify video game shit. This is still currently one of my favorite Game Boys to play with. I like it more than my goddamn. Don't get me wrong, I really like my Analog Pocket over here, but like this thing's fucking cool. But I would rather play. The coolest thing about it for me is, I guess, if I'm gonna take it with me somewhere, I can play a bunch of different shit on it, and also do like backups on it. But I don't know. I'm that kind of guy that wants to play in the original hardware, like if I can, right, or as close as I can. Like some of these uh HD consoles, the Hyperkins and shit like that, that are clone consoles, I guess what you call them. Some people are against them. I'm not. I feel like if I can use the original cartridges, that's good enough. And if I can use 8-bit DOS reproduction of the original controllers, that's enough for me on the hardware side, that I'm happy if I can play my original games, my actual cartridges. I'm happy, you know. I'm not that hardcore picky. That's why I like the Analog Pocket. It's cool. The biggest thing for me with that one is being able to play my cartridge games on the television, my Game Boy games on the TV. That's the coolest thing about it, and being able to live stream my Game Boy carts easily. So that's the biggest, one of the biggest ones for me. But man, now I don't even remember what I was about to Google. Oh yeah. Let's see. Okay, yeah, sorry. I'm just kind of looking to see if there's any. There we go. Polygon sucks. I'm looking for a page that's not completely fucking stupid and is gonna try to make me pay for their piece of shit articles. Sorry about that. So one of the things I wanted to chit chat about, let's see here. I'm just gonna put myself in the corner here. That's better. One of the things I wanted to chit chat about is how Sony is going to stop bringing PS5 exclusives to PC because they're not selling, and that's good. That's fine. I think that's great. I'm glad that Sony is not going to be bringing their exclusives to PC anymore, primarily because they're fucking exclusives. Exclusive being the operative term here. Okay. I think that the worst move Sony could have made, and Xbox as well, any of these companies, the worst move they could have made as a gaming company was to diminish and destroy their own exclusivity for their consoles. Like, exclusivity has been the number one thing that has kept Nintendo going as far and as long as they've gone. And it's given them the ability to effectively ignore the hardware race when it comes to gaming advances. So like Nintendo was able to sit back while Sony and Xbox, two juggernauts, basically just traded blows and reduced each other to shit, which is now, this is they're reduced to shit point in the story. And there's Nintendo standing unscathed in the ashes, but I do think they've made some boneheaded choices recently, which I'll elaborate on if I get to that, but I kind of want to stay on topic as much as I can. And that is Sony's exclusivity. Maybe I'll read this article, but I've read the articles and already, I'm sure if anybody is watching this or ends up watching this later, they'll be well aware of the situation. And maybe not, well, this is your chance to know about it. And I'm not going to go into the minutia too much as far as the details that the mainstream is covering. I'm just going to go over what I think about it as a lifelong gamer, and how I feel like it's really just going to affect the way that I consume their games, and in general, how their whole business model operates. I think, okay, so when exclusivity mattered the most was during the PS1 era. Because what happened was Sega and Nintendo came out on top of the console wars, basically. After all the dust settled, nothing else could get a foothold in the industry. Like, TurboGrafx couldn't get in there. Atari struggled to gain back a foothold in the industry after Nintendo dominated. And the only one that really put up a good fight was Sega. And by the time Sega had been started to run out of steam and they were losing the hardware race, the Dreamcast went down and the N64, went on. And well, that's not entirely that's not the right timeline, but basically the N64 was contending with the PlayStation. The Sega Saturn pretty much was already gone to shit in North America, and it turned into Sony versus Nintendo at a certain point. That's where I was trying to get. After Sega was kind of fell off, it turned into Sony versus Nintendo. Sega on the sidelines, they lost the war with the Sega Saturn versus the PlayStation versus the N64. They fell out of that fight, and the last standing contenders were Nintendo and PlayStation. And here's the thing. This was peak exclusivity. The problem with the Saturn, it had some really awesome exclusives. It just didn't handle 3D as well as the PlayStation, and everybody felt like that was the future at that point. So the Saturn struggled to even just run the same games that the PlayStation would. The Saturn, by and large, many agreed, ran any kind of 3D game you were going to play. You'd want to play it on the PlayStation port version of it. Although now it's the opposite for me. I'd prefer anything I can play on the Saturn. I'd rather play on the Saturn. But at the time, as a consumer, people felt that PlayStation's games were a lot cleaner when it came to the 3D games. But the Sega Saturn was unmatched when it came to fighting games. So there was a bit of a rift in the gaming community, at least in North America. People I knew, the competitive gamers, the competitive fighting gamers really liked the Saturn, but unfortunately it just didn't get the support. Anyway, I'm babbling on and on. Part of the reason the Saturn went down too is because it didn't have enough exclusives. Never got a Saturn. It never got a Sonic game. Never got a real Sonic game, And it should have led with that. Panzer Saga could have been a contender to beat Final Fantasy VII, if you ask me. And if it could have kept going as a franchise, could have been amazing. The kind of games we'd be getting right now. Anyway, my point is like all of that came down to exclusivity. And even now for me, the Sega Saturn's a favorite for me because of its exclusive titles. And so a lot of game companies skipped over the N64 to go to the PlayStation because of the data limitations on the N64, the space. You couldn't put very big games on the N64, even though it doesn't seem that way. Like Mario 64 seems fucking huge. But that was Nintendo using their magical juju on their hardware that they designed. Trying to put a Final Fantasy game on there, like them trying to put Final Fantasy VII on there, they could have never done it. I don't think they ever could have done it. There's no way. There's some pretty impressive games on the N64, but as far as just the scope of it, I mean, that's the thing with cartridge games too. Like, how would people? How do you sell a multi-cartridge game, right? And then how do you handle carrying your data over? There's a lot of bullshit to it. So you could have multiple discs. You could make the games a lot bigger. And granted, the N64 games ran smoother, looked a bit better, but they were smaller. And at the time, it was kind of like a lot. It wasn't until a bit later that a lot of N64 games you couldn't even really save your data on them and shit. That was kind of a thing, an issue. Some of the games saved on the cart. Some of the games had to be saved on the memory card. You had to buy a stupid ass expansion pack. There was a lot going. There was a lot of moving parts, and but the only thing that kept the N64 strong was Nintendo's exclusives. PlayStation didn't have fucking Mario or F-Zero or Smash Brothers or Paper Mario or GoldenEye and later on Perfect Dark. Like Sony could not contend with the multiplayer games on the N64, but they cornered RPGs. They cornered just a lot of other games, 3D games in general, that required a lot more data space. They had the edge. Now, exclusivity is slowly just gone the way of the dodo bird towards these streaming services that are like homogenizing the hardware more and more, so it doesn't matter. So what we have happened here is like the Xbox and the PlayStation have basically become homogenous, and then Nintendo was the one thing that stuck out. And once again, the one thing that's keeping them alive is their exclusivity, man. Like it's all their titles. So like I'm just gonna kind of run down my notes here. I think exclusivity coming back is good because it's competition again. Um, if all the games are on every console, what is going to drive you to buy one console over the other than maybe some hardware bells and whistles, you know, like the PS5's got the haptic shoulder buttons. Xbox is going to copy that unless maybe they already did. I think I just worked on an Xbox controller. It had rumble motors in the fucking shoulder buttons. It had motors in the shoulder buttons. It was a pro controller though. I don't know if I don't think the Xbox controllers have haptic feedback. I don't give a shit. That's honestly like the only thing that sets the PS5 apart is the haptic feedback horse shit. And then you talk about their exclusives, and the problem with that is that like they went to PC, so it didn't fucking matter. Um, I think it's good that they're pulling back, and I know like a lot of the PC players are like shitting in their panties about it, but fuck them, man. The only most of the PC players, and I'm a PC player now that I have a Steam Deck and shit. Most of the PC players, the thing is they spent all their money on their rig, man, and upgrading it and blah de blah. They want everything to hit Steam or hit PC, so at one point or another they can buy it for fucking $6. That's their move. It's always about that sale, you know. But let's see. Um, yeah, like right now it's just PlayStation and Nintendo. Those are the two leading. Xbox is pretty much all but stepped themselves out of the race, which is just crazy to me. But with Sony Studios and From Software and Square Enix, those are the only things that kept uh, PlayStation ahead of Xbox. And it kind of started during the PS3 era because Demon Souls came out for the PS3 exclusively initially. And that's where the cult following started. So subsequently, because everybody played Demon Souls on their PS3, they ended up buying Dark Souls on the PS3. And it just kind of became the Souls go-to console. Granted, it's like Xbox 360 and shit ended up getting Dark Souls as well. But whatever, a lot of people I knew bought PS3s to play Demon Souls. And subsequently they bought their copies of Dark Souls on the PS3. I'd be interested to see if if more copies of Dark Souls sold on PS3 or the 360. Let's see. Which console sold the most copies of Dark Souls? sales upon release. It's thinking. The PlayStation 3. The game, what? Dark Souls sold the most copies upon release on the PlayStation 3. In Japan, the game was a PS3 exclusive upon release. That's right, I forgot about that. 375,000 units. It's already huge. After the first year, 1.19 million units, dominating the total sales, particularly due to the Japanese market and the console's strong early adoption in other regions. Yeah, and heavily concentrated on the PS3 partly because it was the spiritual successor of PS3 exclusive Demon's Souls. The PlayStation 4 was the highest selling platform in its first week, holding 82% of the total sales for Dark Souls 3. Okay, so my theory here that PlayStation essentially, even though not all the games were exclusive, but because Demon's Souls started exclusively on the PS3, and I'll minimize this so you guys can read it as well. I'll make myself scarce here. Flew away. But here, I'll move myself over here. But as you can see, yeah, this is the little breakdown that I just read. Right, of course, the source is from Reddit. Love it. Anyway, my point is PlayStation became the Souls console, right? I think it did. That's my argument, and I think the numbers show it. So PlayStation became the Souls console. And for a while too, at least it carried over from the PS1 era, I think, at least in the consumer's mind, because it did for me. And I think people overlook this. I think it kind of became the Final Fantasy console as well. PlayStation, from the PS1 era and kind of going forward, it was the JRPG brand. Like PS1 and PS2, that was the fucking heyday for JRPGs, man. Sorry, I'm just kind of seeing if nobody's watching, but it's fine because I'm having a good time. I'm doing this for me anyway. Plus, I can just cut this up, put some shorts down and shit. Let's see. So the other thing is Bloodborne was exclusive and still is exclusive. Demon's Souls, the remake, is exclusive to the PS5, like one of the only fucking exclusive PS5 games next to God of War and Horizon. I mean, they've got an okay exclusive lineup. Horizon, God of War, Bloodborne, Demon's Souls. I kind of group those together. Souls, whatever. But, I mean, it's also kind of weak. Final Fantasy 16, that should have stayed exclusive. Yeah, but I'm telling you, this weak-ass lineup of exclusives is the only reason Sony is even still boxing it out and ended up knocking Xbox on its ass. If Xbox would have kept Halo an Xbox thing, and instead of putting it on PC and putting it on fucking everything, putting it on fucking farm equipment, if they would have kept that an Xbox console exclusive instead of having it on Xbox Game Pass and all this, they fucked themselves. They got ahead of the market too much. Like, gamers, man, there is a collectability. They overlook the fact that there is a collectability to this hobby. There's a collectability, and there's also like a modification, upgrade, refurbishment. It's a huge community of people contributing to this shit. And they constantly overlook what everybody's actually into in favor of looking at their own perceived profits. When in reality, if they were more in touch with their customer base, they would make infinitely more money. out of just from the goodwill of their customers, for real though. Anyway, I don't want to get too sidetracked. Our exclusives though, just to quantify this and to keep it straight, we have Bloodborne and Demon Souls, which are practically the same thing. If you ask me, piss your pants if you want to. I don't give a shit. All the Souls games are fundamentally the same thing. It's like comparing different types of apples. You know, they're all fucking apples to the layman, and that's who I'm speaking to about this right now. So exclusively, we got God of War, we got Horizon, we got Demon Souls, we got Final Fantasy. And this is sort of because all this shit is on PC, most of it. But going forward, that's potential. I mean, the best thing that Sony can do is make a deal with From Software right now and lock them up, since they're pulling away from PC sales. Lock them up on the console, at least for like the first year of certain releases before if let's say if Square is going to release their next Final Fantasy on PC and other platforms, maybe they could choose to do that. But I think Sony should go back to locking up deals with some of these companies. They should lock up a deal with From Software for exclusivity to the Souls games. They should lock up a deal for exclusivity to Final Fantasy, at least for like the first year or 6 months that the game releases, something like that. The other thing I wanted to briefly cover, because I'm going over I just went over the list of exclusives that Sony has right now, and let's take a look at Nintendo exclusives, which has so far allowed them to ignore the hardware war, right? So we have all the Mario platformers. I'm not going to count all the different ones because they come and go, and do they still exist? Do they not? The different versions, whatever. I'm just going to call them Mario platformers as one encompassing franchise. We've got the Mario Kart. We've got Zelda, we've got Metroid, we've got Star Fox, Donkey Kong, F-Zero, the Mario RPGs, including all the Paper Marios, all that shit, and Kirby. And I know there's more fucking that you would count, but I think those are the major ones. And some of those I wouldn't even consider them very major if you look at the real sales. Like Metroid, not really. Compared to everything else, it's kind of a drop in the bucket. Star Fox, not really. F-Zero, not really. You could even probably make an argument for the Mario RPGs. The big boys are Mario Kart, Mario platformers, and Zelda. I don't know about Donkey Kong. I guess Donkey Kong. I feel like everybody bought Donkey Kong for the fucking Switch 2 because there was nothing else to buy. That's just what came out, right? That's what everybody bought. Stupid as fuck. Anyway, that right there is their kit though, and they got a few other things. But this is their fucking lifeblood right here. It's what allowed them to ignore the hardware war. And here's one of the issues. Now they've finally like caught up, and they kind of have an edge with the higher frame rate for a lot of games at 160 and consistent 60 frames, when a lot of the PlayStation 5 is running a lot of its games at 30 frames for some fucking crazy, fucked up, stupid ass. I don't know. Reasons that I don't understand. But yeah, now they're starting to enter that arena. So because so many of these games are on every console, now there was a lot of games that the Switch couldn't have because it just couldn't run them. Now they're trying to play catch up with a lot of these games, and nobody really gives a shit, because if they wanted these games, they would have got them already. So these sales are just not going to be great. They're going to have to keep riding on the coattails of the original Switch's success, because there's a fucking astronomical number of these consoles out there that's why they couldn't make Metroid a Switch 2 exclusive, which they should have, because that they fucked that up. They fucked that up. They should have made Switch 2 an exclusive, or I mean Metroid an exclusive for the Switch 2. Let's see, how many Switch consoles have sold? 155 million units worldwide, okay? That's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. And you can't ignore the fact that that many units are out there in the wild. You can't ignore it. So as far as exclusives go for the Switch 2, I think we're still going to see a lot of games for both consoles and like an improved version for the Switch, improved versions for the Switch 2, which is so dumb because that's kind of the same way that Sony went between the PS3 and the PS4. And it just allowed a whole lot of people to just keep their PS4 and ignore the PS5. Sorry, PS4 and PS5, not PS3, PS4. PS4, PS5. Yeah, there's so many people that have just skipped this console generation for the PlayStation, which in retrospect, I probably should have as well, but whatever. I'm probably going to skip the PS6 with the way that the PS5 went. Unless they stick to their guns here and they really pull some exclusives. If they manage to make the Souls games and the Armored Core games exclusive to PlayStation, like that, there you go. That would sell me on the PS6. I think it'd sell anybody. It'd sell anybody on the PS6 if they made those two franchises. At Souls, definitely. Maybe not everybody loves Armored Core like I do, but if you made Souls exclusive to PlayStation 6, there you go, dude. Right there. Even if it was just the first year of Elden Ring 2 on the PlayStation 6, oh, Lord. They would sell a lot of PlayStation 6s, dude. Easily. Ooh, easy, man. Maybe not 155 million units, but they'd probably sell like fucking 30 million units in that first year just because of Souls, like a Souls Elden Ring exclusive, if that's the way they went with it. That's what they need to do though. They need to lock that in. And then Final Fantasy 17, Square Enix needs to do a return to form, make it turn-based. And maybe make it 2.5D and just make it crazy huge. Whatever. They need to return to form. And if they did that and had the next Final Fantasy exclusive on there and the next Elden Ring exclusive on there or whatever iteration, whatever Souls like that FromSoft puts out. And then they had their God of War and their Horizon and whatever, and they like unwokeified God of War and Horizon and shit. How cool would it be if the next Horizon game, it was Horizon something donkey dicks over the horizon. Don't put a 3 on it, and then make the main character a dude. Yeah, make him a dude. Make him like a fucking dude, bro. That just wants to fuck motherfuckers up and steal their technology, and just bro-ham it up and maybe fuck bitches too. You know, that's how Sony will bring it back. That's how they'll capture the hearts and souls of Gen Z and Alpha. If they just bring the sex drive back to their games and stop making everything so weird and gay. Yeah. I don't know how this turned into what Sony needs to do, but what Nintendo needs to do. If Nintendo released F-Zero or Star Fox on the Switch 2, I would buy a Switch 2. That's where I'm at. New Kirby would be cool. Anyway, going forward, yeah, I already covered this, that it used to be hardware was one of the big reasons for exclusivity in the past. Now that's kind of that's dried up, disappeared. Now the only reason for exclusivity is licenses. You know, who's got the license? Who's got the rights? Who's the publisher? That's part of the reason that the Switch was weak, but they could sell a lot of consoles. I covered that because of their exclusive games, which then once they had a lot of consoles out in the wild, that created a leverage for them with publishers. They're like, look, man, we got 155 million units out there. Like, don't you want to put it on our shit? And even if our shit's weak, don't you want it to run on there? Because everybody's got one. Let's see. Yeah, I don't think Sony should have ever ported to PC. That was a damning move. I think Xbox, that was always going to be a natural move for them because they are PC, they are Microsoft. But if they were smart, they would have kept their console division separate, but it just started getting cannibalized by the rest of their corporation at the point where they were trying to turn everything into an Xbox. It's like, well, everything's a PC, but not everything should be an Xbox, you know? Because if every PC can be an Xbox, then you don't need an Xbox anymore. And you effectively push yourself out of the hardware business. Stupid as fuck. So that's I think, yeah, Sony should definitely back off the service model. I think all of them should. Like, I don't understand how they have. I know that they think they need to keep trying to make these live service games because they just need one, is what they think. And then they'll make all their money back if they just have one. But dude, everybody's so fickle and it's like the flavor of the week. You're not gonna pump out a Fortnite every time you spend $300 million on a new game and hope it's fucking Fortnite and it's not, and then you're out 300 minutes. It's just too much of a gamble, man. You could make three excellent single player games that could potentially be the talk of the town, talk of the industry for a third of the fucking price, you know? But yeah, I guess that's my goings on about industry, the industry as it is as of right now, right? Um, so let's see here. I'm probably gonna do like a little bit of gaming, but maybe I won't do any gaming. Maybe I'll just talk a little more and then call it a night and probably clip this up into shorter bits to drop on my channel as just like talking points, I guess. Um, well, shit. I don't know. I might as well. I might as well go for it and play a little bit. All right, I'm gonna stop the tunes, hop in. Here we go. Hopefully this works. There we go. All right. We're gonna see. Oop. We don't want that. Son of a bitch. Why the fuck is it doing this? Empty. Drive is empty. Okay, sure. All right, so I don't know why the fuck it's doing that. We'll go back. Uh, oh, but now let's see if it does it for this one. Sorry, just gotta fuck around a little bit. You're gonna hear some noises and shit. I think I may have figured it out. Yeah. All right. There we go. I am in the corner. And we are playing Darius Gaiden right now. And I paused it because I'm a retard. There we go, gang. So yeah, that was my rant about exclusivity and how I'm excited for it to come back. How I think it's going to be good for the entire industry. And yeah, I can't wait. Fuck, that is loud. I'm gonna pause things briefly. Gonna turn down my earbuds here. Boom. Perfect. All right. I'm gonna put both my earbuds in because the music for this shit is absolutely stellar. But as the time for embarkation drew near, a mysterious force destroyed the huge... Embarkation, man. That's going to be the vocabulary term of the night. Embarkation. That's intense. Look at this shit, dude. Nobody's fucking around. Yes, Sega Saturn. Yes. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, murder everybody, dude. Fucking deadly space fish from hell. Alright. We're gonna be on normal. Cause daddy ain't scared. Here we go. No analog. We'll be fine. It's cool. We're gonna be cool. We're good. We're good. We're good. There's some pretty cunty shit going on. Pausing it for a second. My coffee's kind of in the way here. Not a super huge fan of the controls right now. We're going to do something about it. Yeah. Sure, we're going to go left analog force. We're going to go back. Back again. Resume. There we go. That's what daddy wants. Analog. You know, unless if I'm using the original Saturn controller. Oh, I don't know if the emulator likes that. If I'm using an original Saturn controller, I'll do the D-pad, but if I can do analog, I'm gonna do analog, man. I'm gonna. Ugh. Chugging. Music for this game is fucking phenomenal, dude. Just, oh, you fucking cunt. We gotta get this little ball on his head, before killing him. It's been a while since I played, so I might suck balls. Plus, it seems like there's like a slight delay in the movement, a little bit. I'm not sure if I can do anything about that. Let's see here. No. Whoa. Yeah. Woo! Fuck. It's been a while, man. I'm fucking this up, though. This delay has got me... Damn, I didn't get... I died, lost my power up. So, when you're using the black hole bombs, like, the more bullets there are on the screen, the more damage it deals to the enemies. Dude, this shit is crazy. Could you imagine being that one kid who owned a Sega Saturn and like none of your friends owned the Saturn and you got to enjoy these fucking weird franchises like Darius, where it's like the last one you would have seen come out was like Darius Twin. Oh, you fucking on the Super Nintendo would have been like the last time you experienced Darius, and then suddenly it's this insane shit. I hope they give me a shield soon. Oh. Oh my god. Okay, cool, I got laser. As long as you get to the next rank, you can die and it'll just put you back at that rank reset, right? Oh, give me it, you cunt. There we go. Okay, cool. This guy makes this area like a lot easier. Ooh. So this was kind of the beginning of the idea of, god damn it, the idea that carried over to G Darius of like capturing all the enemies. Oh my god, I'm just getting fucked. See, that's why you need to use all of your bombs. Otherwise, you're just wasting you're gonna get killed. They give you 3 per life. So you might as well use them before you fucking die. Yeah, these games have always kind of been like, a lot of shmups are like, use all your bombs, then you're on your own, shoot as much as you can until you fucking die. Better strategy is like survive as much as you can, use your bomb in the last second to save yourself, and then ooh. Ugh. So the move is to be like right in front of his fucking mouth. Damn, dog. That one slipped right between my fucking... It's alright. When he does his next stupid move where he's spitting all the jazz. Oh my lord. Of course he fucking switches it up on me right away. Eat a bag of dicks, motherfucker. That was pretty awesome. His head just fucking flew off like to infinity and beyond. Eat a bag of dicks, pussy face. We're gonna go to F. We're going straight down. Even though, I don't know. In Darius Chronicles is also an awesome game that's, if anything, somewhat overpriced. Sounds like this bitch is saying baby Jesus. Jesus! Okay, that's probably... I'm compelled to say Jesus myself at how fucking insane it suddenly got. Whoa! Okay, there's a... That's what I want, but... Jesus. Jesus! Yeah, fuckheads, get the fuck out of here. Oh, I'm not gonna be able to get this fucking asshole. It's so neat that they can just like go into the fucking walls like that, and I immediately die if I go anywhere near any of the fucking walls. That's great. How the fuck are you supposed to keep that guy? Yeah, it's like the least useful thing. Ah, fuck me, dude. I'm just getting fucking ravaged here, man. Wasting my fucking black hole bombs. I think I died with 3 of them there. Ooh. Extra life. Feeling somewhat vindicated, but... Fuck off. Fuck off. I'm never even gonna get like a silver shield. No more continues, 2 lives. Will I beat the boss? That's the question. Oh my god. Yeah, this game has like the best fucking music ever. Get fucked. I'm doing pretty good. Oh shit. Oh no. Okay. Oh, I should have stayed where I was at, dog. Oh. Whoa. Alright. You're a fucking asshole. I'm gonna use my bombs. I'm on my last life. I'm gonna beat this motherfucker. Sound is getting crazy a little bit. I like just set this game up before the stream too. So I didn't have a chance to like fuck with it. Oh, this could be it for me. Oh my god. Alright, we got him, man, but at what cost? 0 lives. 2 black holes left. We're going to J. Back in the day, the way I would beat this game was by like plugging my controller into the second port. And then I'd use up those lives. Oh! Ooh. I'm into it. Oh my god, dude. Fucked. See if it works. Let's see if it can just like be that simple one time. There we go. Fuck yeah. Give me those power-ups, you fucking pieces of shit. Oh my god. After getting all the power-ups, I just get fucked. Blue's coming in to fucking save the day. I'm avenging red here. Blues come to avenge red. Get me that fucking shield, dog. Why they gotta send all these huge motherfuckers after me? What in the fuck? Did that guy steal my shield, dude? Jesus Christ. I'm pretty sure that dude like rode off with my shield earlier. You know, at least these levels are, they definitely don't overstay their welcome, that's for fucking sure. Yeah, piss off. Dude, I'm basically gonna fight this guy with fucking through just death and bombs. That's pretty much the going strategy right now. Death and bombs. We're just gonna triple bomb them. All right, we're gonna try to deal some damage to him. Put our shields to work. What happens if I don't shoot these things? Do they just fuck off? They do. They do just fuck off. That's perfect. Ugh. No. Okay, that would have been it right there. Alright, I fucked up his one tentacle. Damn, dog. Those shots are brutal, dude. Oh, dude, 3 bombs. I wasted 3. Fuck it, dude. Eat a bag of dicks, my boy. Get fucked. Alright, most of his his mollusk body has come apart. Oh, what the fuck is this, dude? Oh my god! And I run into him. Get your fucking weird self-propelled bullets. This technology, you know, we'd kill for that kind of technology. Bullet that just kept moving around and fucking you. Fucking everybody. We're going to O, man. We're already down to 0 credits. 2 lives. You guys are going to get to see like 1 more level because I suck so much dick at this. I used to be able to beat this game with just the 3 credits. I'll get back there again, but it's been a really long time. Plus, the way I'll get back there, I'm going to play on my real copy of this game, not on emulation. As soon as my Superstation shows up, which, once the Superstation shows up, man, oh my god. I'm gonna live stream a playthrough of Snatcher, of my hard copy of Snatcher. I'm gonna do a playthrough of all 3 of the Panzer Dragoon games, hard copies. I'm gonna do a playthrough of yeah. Bro. Not sure how I'm surviving this long. Dude, I'm gonna be on like an exodus, dude. For the next few months, my channel's just gonna be PlayStation 1 and fucking Sega CD and oh god. And oh, the game's not liking this. How did I get that so easily? Fucking A. Yeah, the whole channel's just gonna turn into Sega CD, PlayStation, and fucking Sega Saturn. It's just gonna be nothing but the song fucking beats ass. We're gonna be fighting these dickheads. It's a good fuck me, dude. There's so many levels in this game too that it's like you gotta be making a serious fucking commitment to memorization. Oh, and that's it. That's all she fucking wrote, man. I don't really give a shit about putting in my name. I am gonna fix my shit though, so that the next time that I come in here, okay, so here we go. Get back into the big mode. I'm in big mode, bro. And that fucking donkeys fucking game shit. Big mode. Well, well. It's looking like that's going to be the end of the stream for me, guys and gals. No gals, no guys. Fucking nobody, period. We'll just add a few sneezes in at the end for good measure. Fuck it, man. Let's watch a trailer here. What do we got? Tell you what, all this shit looks pretty lame. this movie, I guess.
Reef Hawk. For the last 4 decades, America's favorite movie star. Starring in 3 of the biggest franchises in film history. You've had 5 years off. I mean, how are you going to frame the 5 years thing?
I won't say that I was hiding addiction from the public, and that my best friends and my insane lawyer helped me cover it up for years.
That is a really smart omission.
Strong omission.
Mm-hmm.
The day I walked down the street I used to wander, yeah.
Bubby and Tyra, we got a big problem.
There's a video.
What's on it?
I have no idea.
I need to know everyone who hates you. You need to go and apologize to them. And without them realizing it, feel out if they're the ones behind the video.
Who hates me?
Man, he kind of reminded me of Dunkle. Joe Rogan's buddy. What's his face?
Your mom.
I watch his channel, but
Then I have like a separate list for like directors, actors, costume designers, hair and makeup people, craft service, whatever, and like executives that you've worked with if you want me to start on that.
Jesus Christ.
Now I'd like to introduce you to your new crisis team.
I pray to God you didn't say the word on that video.
What? No.
I know, he knows, we know.
You know, brother.
But if you did,
We're gonna hold hands and walk through the fire together, my brother.
I brush my shoes, and I hung from the
I mean, it's kind of funny, this whole thing, he's playing himself. What was that,
How do I put this the right way? You're not a good person.
There was all these
Mom, I have a lot to apologize.
a couple other funnier films did
Sorry.
similar shit.
Could we try that one more time, hon? The label wasn't cheated towards camera, and that was such a great.
Keanu Reeves did a movie like that
I'm so
recently.
in touch, genuinely.
I saw that one in theaters. It was Keanu Reeves. No, Nicolas Cage. This is Keanu Reeves. Yeah, Nicolas Cage did one just like this.
More than a bunch of people on the internet.
Why did you stay, my friend? Why are you still here?
But it wasn't like
already paid for it on the app.
it was more crazy, fucking run and gun, horse shit, stupid bullshit. I don't know. This looks alright. I might actually go check this out
Is it for you? Is it for me?
because we're in such a fucking movie family. What's with David Spade appearing in a bunch of shit? They showed him with Theo Vaughn. He's got a goofy ass, stupid ass looking ass movie coming out. Bus Boys. Looks kind of interesting. I mean, I'll go watch this shit. Apple TV, okay. That could have just ended it right there for me. IGN trailers, man. They've been pushing some horse shit at fucking Starfield lately again. And I guess I could care less. Fucking Starfield. Who gives a fuck, dude? Game's been like in the works for 100 million years. I don't even think it's a real fucking game at this point. I don't. Doesn't seem real. Anyway, well, fuck it. It's late. I gotta get up tomorrow and do a bunch of cooking and fucking around for work. Anybody in the future who ends up watching this shit, I hope you enjoy it. Although I doubt anybody will watch it. Probably people will just watch it when I'm dead or some shit. But even then, I hope you enjoyed my goofy little bit of content here, my 2 cents on how I think the gaming industry is going right now when it comes to exclusivity in games and stuff. And yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I'm just going to play the intro as the outro, right? And call it a night. Once again, thank you, my lords and lordesses.
Jellord. Yay.
Adios, friend.